Well, hello and welcome to Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. I am your host, DJ Delta Dawn, and so very glad to be here with you on this Tuesday evening. I hope that your week is off to a great start and that today was just wonderful. I know for me here in North Carolina it was absolutely great because we finally saw the sun after about 7 days of rain, off and on, clouds, dreariness. I mean, my gosh, it couldn't have gotten any drearier. We finally saw the sun today, and spring returned. So I'm great, having a great day, having a great evening, and I hope that you are as well. We are so very glad to have you with us tonight. Thank you for joining us. We have a wonderful guest, and I'm so very excited to speak with her. Her name is Coleen McMahon, and she is a singer-songwriter who is really taking the indie world by storm. She's doing some great things, and so we are very happy to have her with us. And I would love to welcome her now. Hello, Coleen.
Hi, I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm great, and it is so great to have you with us. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight and taking some time away from your schedule to spend some with us, so we appreciate that.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here today.
Well, I'm always curious because indie artists, I love my indie artists. I mean, they just, for me, you guys make some of the best music out there, in my opinion. And so I am always interested to hear how you kind of got started in the business and how you got, rolling with music. How did it all happen for you?
Well, I started playing the piano when I was about 5 years old, and I grew up with my dad singing in church, so I was exposed to music at a very young age, and I studied piano for about 8 years, mainly classical music, and then around the age of 12 and 13, I started composing my own songs on the piano and writing lyrics, and by the end of high school, I had sort of decided that I was going to move to Los Angeles. And my parents were a little hesitant about it. But ultimately, they did support me 100%. And basically, within a year out of high school, I made the big move down to Los Angeles. And it was really hard. It's hard coming from a small town, relatively small compared to Los Angeles, to a big city. And it was definitely very difficult in the beginning, not knowing anybody, but I sort of dived right in and started playing at open mics and connected with other songwriters and producers and met people along the way that have propelled me in small ways further in my career and have led me to where I am now. And so, it's been quite a journey.
It certainly sounds like it. And now, you're correct me if I'm wrong, but you're from Oregon, correct, originally?
That's correct.
I mean, so I can only imagine that moving to Los Angeles from Oregon, when I think I've never been to Oregon, I've always wanted to visit, but I just imagine it being this really peaceful, mountainous, serene kind of place. And picking yourself up and moving to Los Angeles, I mean, that had to have been quite the culture shock, was it not?
Yeah, that's maybe an understatement. It was, definitely a culture shock. I'm used to, kind of smiling at people as I walk down the street and waving and all that jazz, and I started to do that down here, and people just looked straight ahead, and it was just like, oh, that's really not common down here, is it? So it's definitely interesting, sort of adapting everything.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking that North Carolina, being that it's kind of situated in the south of the U.S., it's interesting because we're friendly here, and we at least like to think we are, and and you go outside of North Carolina and you kind of head north or west, and it's just funny how people are different in different places. And I know in times that I've traveled to other states, aside from the fact people immediately go, are you from North Carolina or Texas? It's interesting how they're, you know, you're being friendly because it's just your normal nature, and all of a sudden, you know, they're kind of looking at you weird, like, why are you speaking to me just for no reason? And it's, you know, and you have to, you get put in your place really quick when you realize, and that's how they figure out that you're a transplant, that you're not where you belong, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, it's really interesting. But did you actually move out there by yourself and just start that journey by yourself, or did you have someone with you?
I did do it all by myself. I had my dad come down for a couple of weeks to kind of help me get situated in the very beginning, but that was it. I had to learn all the freeways down here without a GPS.
Oh, my gosh. Well, that makes my head spin just to think about. I mean, you know, when you think about how courageous you had to have been to be, you know, for me, I've never been to New York, so I don't know which would be more intimidating, L.A. or New York, but I imagine they both would be kind of equally the same in terms of the enormous amount of people crammed into a city and, you know, and traffic issues. Oh, my gosh.
Definitely.
But kudos to you. I'm so glad that you pursued, you know, you had enough courage within you and drive that you wanted to pursue your dream, and you knew that going to L.A. was what was going to help make that happen. And so I'm very excited for you, because I must tell you, I've listened to your music and was very impressed first time I heard it. I was like, wow, you know, and it's one of those things, those moments that I have so often with indie music and indie artists. You know, I sat there and I said to myself, why is she not on a major record label already? I mean, that was the impression I had of your music, and it's that good. And I want to talk a little bit about your music because, you know, as you said, you have played you've done a lot of stage shows, you know, everywhere from, you know, the House of Blues, the Roxy, the Viper Room. I mean, my gosh, the Viper Room. I mean, you've got to really be doing something in music to get into the Viper Room, from what I understand. That's no small feat. And you're doing some wonderful things. And so I want to talk a little bit about your new EP that you've released, and how it all kind of came about for you.
Yeah, well, I was actually on another radio show a couple years ago, and my manager was listening to it, my present manager, and she heard me, and she approached me as far as management is concerned, and we ventured into a new relationship with one another, and it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my career, to go with her as my manager. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman who genuinely has my best interest, which is really, really difficult to find. And she has a lot of amazing relationships with certain producers and record executives, and was able to contact quite a few people to be on board with this project, and you know, they happily agreed to work with me, and it was amazing. I went to New York and recorded a lot of the EP there. I recorded a couple songs in Los Angeles, but a lot of it was recorded in New York, and it was an amazing trip. Long days, you know. Oh, yeah. Days and days on end in the studio. But I love it, and it was an amazing experience, and I think a lot of the songs on the EP reflect a lot of the human themes that we all deal with as people. So.
And you know, in music, as I've said many times on this program, and to people, a lot of my colleagues, and that is, you know, it is a universal language, and it speaks to everyone, no matter where they're from, their background. I mean, it's so universal, and you know, everybody interprets music differently, but it speaks to people like nothing else does, in a way, you know, and that's one thing I can say about your music. It's so heartfelt. You know, the song Ashes, for example, the one that you're promoting currently, talk a little bit about, you know, what was kind of the idea behind that song. It's a great song, by the way.
Thank you very much. You know, Ashes was written quite a while ago, actually, and I think that heartache is something that millions and millions of people can relate to. And I was in a bad relationship at the time, and it ended, and I was pretty young, and it was one of the most painful things I had ever gone through at the time. And when I wrote that song, I mean, I remember writing it really quick, like it just all came out really fast. And I think a lot of great songs do. When you're at such a heightened emotional state, things just kind of come out of you, and you're like this, you're transformed into this channel, and you're just able to sort of do it with ease. And that's the way that it came out. It came out very easily, and it just made for a great song. Heartache makes for a great song.
It really does. It really does, because, you know, you're pouring, especially if it's born of personal experience, you know, you're really putting your emotions into the song. And it's great. I've always said that songwriters, you know, is a great form of therapy for songwriters when they are, you know, writing music, because you really can, you know, take your frustrations or just your joys or whatever you may be experiencing emotionally and put it into your music. And, you know, and I think it becomes a lot more real to the listener when they can actually feel that as part of the song and what, you know, an artist is trying to convey. It's so powerful in a way. You know, and speaking of powerful, your song "Beautiful Boy," there's a beautiful backstory to this song. Would you mind sharing it with the listeners?
Yeah, most definitely. Where do I start on this one? One of my best friends, Tom, he had a really bad accident 2 years ago today, actually. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was very tragic the way that he passed away. But I had written this idea for a song prior to his passing, and it was written for a girl. A friend's cousin had passed away, and I wrote this idea, and it was sort of an outline of the song at the time. But when I got word that Tom had passed away, I changed some of the words, and it just became Tom's anthem all the way. It was Tom's song from then on, and it's just because of the personal attachment to that song, it will probably always be my favorite song because of that. But it was definitely therapeutic for me to finish that song and to have it be his. And I still listen to it to this day and think of him. And, yeah.
And that is such a great story. I mean, because when I hear something like that, you know, I think about how something that was tragic, you know, and so personal to you, you know, you wrote this song, and in essence, you know, your friend can kind of live on through the song itself, you know, aside from the great memories that you have of him, but to be able to have this song that kind of is a real tribute to him. I mean, that is, what a beautiful gift. I mean, you know, and the song is just, it's phenomenal. It's so well written, and I love the lyrics. The song is just, it's one of those that just, you know, you can really hear the identity or the identifier of loss of life in it, but yet the hope that we have. And, you know, having lost loved ones myself, it just really struck a chord within me personally. And I know that for anyone who's heard it, this really could become, I think, in my opinion, a signature song for, you know, loss, personal loss, whether it be loss of a relationship, loss of a person, a loved one. You know, it's very, very strong message, and I'm so glad that you wrote it, you know.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad I wrote it, too. I'm sure Tom is looking down really proud, so...
I bet he is very, very proud of you for that, and is smiling all the way, to know that you did something like that for him, and, that means so much to you, but just think how much it means to him. So it's just a great thing. One of the things, I want to talk to you is about your video for Ashes, because it's my understanding that you can actually see that on MTV.com. Is that correct, or did I get that right? Or
yeah, you're
wow. I was hoping I was right, because MTV, I mean, wow, that's pretty amazing. Well, first of all, let's back up, because actually, and I stand corrected, it's one of the songs off of your EP. And is it Ashes that's actually on MTV, that they're playing on MTV.com?
Yes, yeah,
okay.
That's right.
Well, what was it like for you, because you've been in the studio now, obviously, I would think, having made that move from Oregon to L.A., once you did that, I'm sure you probably said, I can tackle anything. So, you've since been to New York and recorded your album, and you've made this video that's being shown on MTV. So what was that like? Because that, from what I understand, is so different from, recording an album per se. There's a lot more to it than just singing a song.
Oh, yeah. Recording a video, is that what you're referring to?
Yes, recording a video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I had never recorded a video besides YouTube recordings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
This was on a different level, because there was acting involved. And,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so I wasn't used to acting out a scenario, as opposed to just standing in front of a mic in a vocal studio recording something. Yeah, it was definitely quite different, and I found out that I really loved it, and it was really fun getting to act and getting to interact with the camera and really putting my all into the whole performance of it. I found that I really enjoyed it, and I hope to record many, many more music videos.
Well, being that it was your first video, were you nervous at all, knowing that, you were going to be in front of the camera? Because, to me, it would be so different than being up on stage, because I think, a lot of people who are in music, I mean, they say it's just such a rush to be on stage in front of a crowd singing, but to actually have to add in this whole element of acting, and singing on top of that, it's quite, I imagine it's quite, it can be quite daunting.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on, and 2 or 3 different people are giving you directions on where to look, where to stand, stuff like that. You really have to learn to tune out everything else when they say go, because you really have to look like you're not acting, even though you are. So it was definitely a learning experience. So yeah.
Well, I saw the video, and the video is really great. And I must tell you that, for you to have never had any prior acting experience, you really pulled it off. I love how, in the video, they intertwine the whole acting aspect, and then they show you performing the song as well. It's kind of the best of both worlds of you. So it's really a great video. I mean, the director, kudos to them, because it really turned out well, I think.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think it turned out great as well. And I remember that when we were filming the scene in the forest, I had on that long dress, and it was supposed to be a nice day, I believe, but it started pouring down rain in the middle of that scene. And, I mean, it was just like, what do we do now? We have cameras. We have, all these people standing out here. What are we going to do? And we just went with it, and I said, you know what? I don't want an umbrella. I don't want anything. I'm just going to get soaked, and this is going to be part of it, and it actually worked out fine. So,
well, considering the song and what the song is about, it really did add, I think, a nice touch, an unexpected touch even, because obviously you were not thinking it was going to rain, but, it really did add to the video. And I think if you'd done it any other way, it would have still been good. But it just, because, it's kind of coming from that place where, we've lost that relationship, or that relationship is rocky, it just seemed to really work well. So that was great for you another great decision on your part.
Yes, definitely. I think it was too.
Yeah, and and the scenes in it where you were, you and the boyfriend were just having it out, just lashing out at each other. How hard was it for you to get in character? And then when the director yelled cut, just to go back to being Coleen, like, okay, everything's okay now. I mean, when you get into it, I've always wondered, when you get into an emotionally charged scene like that, how does an actor, no matter how amateur or how professional, how in the world do you kind of manage to kind of gear down and get out of that when the director yells cut? Because, it's not like a switch where you can just cut it off. I would think you just have to kind of go take a time out or something. How did that work for you?
Well, yeah, because they were such emotionally charged scenes, like just filled with anger, it was really hard to not sort of still be on that wave after the scene was done. So, yeah, I don't know how many takes we did of that. I bet you there were maybe like 20 or 30 takes. The adrenaline is still going afterwards. So it kind of takes time to taper off. But before each scene, I would really sort of step off to the side and try to get angry. Just think about something that somebody did to me in the past and just sort of go with it. And as soon as they yell action, just let them have it. And it took me, a few minutes to get into that character. It takes a second to warm up, but once I was there, I wasn't going anywhere. I was there until we were done shooting that scene. And it was easy after you kind of got into character. So, it took some time, but it worked out very well.
Now, the other cast members in the video with you, were these like, some of your friends that you kind of enlisted to be in the video with you, or were these just picked by the director?
The boyfriend in the video, he's been a friend of mine for a few years, and the band members, one of them was a friend, two of them were people that my manager hired. And then the girl in the video was somebody that one of the cast members knew that they hired to be in the video.
Well, it all went very well. I just love the video, and we actually have that up on our site. We have the link, but we're going to, I'll take the link down and put in the embedded video once our interview is done here this evening, and so that people, when they go to our site to visit, they can just click right on it and watch it right there. So
thank
we
you.
will be promoting that out as well. So now talk about forthcoming plans for the summer and beyond. What else have you got brewing for, the coming months?
Well, I'm planning on doing some more shows down here in Los Angeles, and also my manager and I are really trying to venture into the publishing world, writing not only for myself but for other artists as well. So definitely look for my name on some upcoming songs, hopefully, with some other major artists. Yeah, and we're also looking to do a music video for Beautiful Boy. So that's something that we're going to be working on coming up here.
I cannot wait. And when you get that finished, please let us know, because we will help promote it out. We will put it on our website just so people can see it, because this is the type song that would make a great video, too. The song is so beautifully written and so well done that, it would be a shame not to have a video to go along with it that could really tell the story. Do you think, at this early date in the game, do you think that there's any chance that you may have, some footage or some scenes of your friend incorporated into the video?
I definitely think that that will happen, for sure.
That'd be great. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
Now, this is kind of an off-the-beaten-path question, but do you think at some point you would try to venture to, say, other parts of the U.S., out of L.A., to tour or to, do some shows?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I definitely see that in my future. It's just a matter of setting up tour dates and stuff like that, but it'll happen, and I definitely want to come to your side of the country where you are.
Oh, well, when you know that you are going to be headed this way, please let me know, because I would love to get out to see you live. And if you're if you actually do come to North Carolina, then I would love to come see your show and then treat you to dinner or something, just to, to show you some Southern hospitality on this side of the world and how we eat, live, and all that great stuff. We'd love to do that. And are you also working on any new music in the process of all these other great things that you've got going on?
Oh, yes. I am constantly working on new songs and new music. That's something that I never stop doing. So I'll definitely be coming out with some more music. Awesome.
Well, we look forward to that. Do you have kind of a timeline of when you think you might be releasing some new stuff?
I'd say I could give you a general answer. This year, probably.
Okay, good. Well, I was just going to say, regardless of when it is, we definitely want it so we can play it on our station here in our show and really help promote you and get the word out about your music, because it is really good stuff, and it definitely needs to be heard. So you're just a phenomenal artist, and we are so excited for what you're doing, but look forward to all that you've got coming, forth for us to look forward to as well.
Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate you having me on the show, and I also really appreciate your support and everything.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're a great artist, and we have thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you, and we'd love to have you back, as you have other new things coming out that you want to, talk about or let the audience know about. We'd love to have you back anytime.
Thank you. I would love to be back.
All right. Definitely. Well, best of luck to you, Coleen, and it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. Have a wonderful night.
You do the same. God bless.
God bless. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. What a sweet, sweet young lady. Have really enjoyed chatting with her this evening. Coleen McMahon. Remember the name. She is a pop singer-songwriter, just phenomenal artist. In fact, we're going to play her latest song, Ashes, in just a moment. I hope that you enjoyed that interview. We certainly did. She's a great, great artist. Got a lot of great things going on. And if you want to check out the video for Ashes, you can actually go to our website, thejamminjukebox.com, and there's a link to it. We will actually be pulling the link when the interview's over and putting up the embedded video. We didn't have time to get that in before airtime, but we will definitely get that embedded in so you can watch it. And hope you enjoy this great video. So you can also track Coleen, and she has a website. It's ColeenMcMahon.com. You can also follow her on Twitter at Coleen McMahon, and also at Facebook at the same name. So without further ado, I'm going to play for you now Ashes off of her latest EP. This is Coleen McMahon.
I barely remember the time that we shared. The pain is burning my memory to ashes. I barely recall when you so probably said our love was forever. Now it's ashes. Do you regret that I know?
Great song from Coleen McMahon. Like I said, remember the name. That is her latest release called Ashes, and it is off of her self-titled EP. And like I said, go to our website, thejamminjukebox.com, and check out the video to that. You will love it. All right, that is going to wrap our show for this evening. However, we will be back here on Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern with a girl duo. They are two sisters from Southern California. They go by the name of Mad and Mac. And it stands for Madison and Mackenzie are their names. So look forward to speaking with them. Oh, man, they've got some great music as well, and we'll be featuring some of that here on our show. So look forward to chatting with them Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern. And until then, we hope that you enjoy the rest of your week and that you will be right back here with us at that time. Thank you so much for listening tonight. Thank you to all the new listeners. Welcome aboard. We hope that this will not be your last time here. We certainly hope that you will be back. And with that, we will say good night, and we'll be back here again Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Take care, all. Good night.
Thanks for listening to tonight's show. You can connect with Jammin Jukebox Radio Show on Twitter at Jammin Jukebox or on Facebook at Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. Check out our website at thejamminjukebox.com. Also, follow us on Blog Talk, where you will be always up to date on every episode as we add it. Each episode is available for immediate download upon the conclusion of each broadcast, and as always on iTunes. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's show has been brought to you by One Taste of Main Street Cake Shop, baked from scratch, custom-made cakes and cupcakes, and you'll be hooked. Every cake is made to order with only the finest and freshest ingredients. This is no ordinary bakery. Cakes are never pre-made. Main Street Cake Shop is in demand, having provided cakes and cupcakes for numerous prestigious events, bridal fairs, and venues. Owned and operated by April Murray, she has garnered many awards for not only her exquisite cake designs, but also for their incredible taste. If you're looking for a cake for any occasion, or cupcakes in a variety of flavors, then Main Street Cake Shop is the place. Visit them on the web at mainstreetcakeshop.com.